Okay, guys, so I am back at where I usually say where I'm stationed. I usually say that, even though I am not in the service in any way, not the Navy, the Army, none of the military, none of that. Okay, it just came out that way. But I believe on my father's side, which is really interesting. On my father's side, I had did some research on Ancestry.com. This is before like my identity was stolen and all that kind of stuff. Child, they got a hold of everything, birth charts, everything. It was like, child, I've been going through this for a long time. So as I watch those, some of those videos and stuff back, I'm realizing that I've been trying not to give certain energy to people that it doesn't belong to. So what I will do is I usually will make sure that I'm balanced, make sure that I'm good, make sure that my peace is where it needs to be, right? But in doing that, I find that, or have found that, people, they like to run over you when you just trying to, like, chill the fuck out and do your thing, right? They don't like to see you at peace because they are not at peace. Just being honest. All right. So for me, and this is another thing. This is for the people who really, really, really do not like me. This is for y'all. What you do looking for all of these bad energies and emotions and stuff like that, you be looking like with a fine tooth comb. You be like, did you see how that bitch just said that? Did you see why she got that mole on that side? Didn't she have it on that side today or yesterday? Why she still got that on and this and that and this and that? And it's like, have you even thought that maybe it's because I couldn't afford to do my laundry? Maybe it's because I've actually been forced into the situation that I'm in, and I'm not supposed to be in this situation. But I've handled it very well and with much grace, for sure, if I do say so myself. And I ain't gonna lie to you, baby. On a daily basis, it is a daily walk, and it is not motherfucking easy, okay? At all. So, but if you make it your lifestyle to maintain peace, maintain your balance, do what you need to do, and be good to people regardless, because guess what? It's not their fucking fault that you're going through what you're going through. So don't take out your fucking anger on other people, okay? So anyway, moving forward, back to Ancestry.com. So when I was doing my research or whatever, I definitely found out that I had, most definitely I had roots in the motherland, for sure. And then I also found that, my father's people, crazy shit, was the women, like my father's mother and everything, were supposedly like in the military. They were military women, and they were like suited and booted and stuff like that. Now, I don't know if it's real or not, but I'm gonna go and look into it a little bit more so that I can, possibly get a little bit more information about my peoples, right? But child, yes, I have roots in the motherland, baby, for sure. And my grandmother, she was born on Native American land. I want to say that they, because she was of mixed heritage, and so I want to say that they ended up. I don't know, because she was very fair, so I'm not sure if they classified her as a native or if they classified her as black. I don't know that much about that part. Like, I don't know, because well, no, you don't know, but you'll figure it out when I start writing about everything. You know what I mean? I'm the type of person, I have to get through some things first before I can, be writing about shit and everything. It's a therapeutic thing for me, So anyway, so I would rather work through it on its own and then write about it later after I've kind of like, pushed past it or whatever the case is. But right now, I've got my kids that are missing, and I've got some real sneaky shit that's going on behind the scenes, and I'm not really sure about it. I have lived my life in the most careful way, I've had the most boring life. Most of you guys who have, like kind of combed through my life or whatever little details you could find, you'll see I lived a very cool, life. Like I worked in fashion 20 years. Sometimes I would contract in stores. Sometimes I was in headquarters. It's my thing. I love to do it, and I never complained about my job. It was just more so about like the commute was the thing for me, right? So, child, listen. I don't live my life in a way where I would have to see these type of results. It took for people to pick at me. It took for people to set me up and shit. It took for people to try and, read more into what it was that I was doing when I was really just being nice to you. And you kind of shed on that. And when you did that, I was like, okay, cool, and moved on, right? So, and didn't think much about it actually. Like at all, until I started realizing like, okay, you know what I need to do? I need to make sure that I am, what am I trying to say? Acknowledging my part in whatever may have been going on. So I had to take inventory of all of my actions over the last, I'll probably say like anywhere between 4 and 6, 7 years, somewhere around there. I even went back all the way to when I started my celibacy run for 8 years. And I was like, dang, this is crazy. I have done a lot of work on myself throughout this process. And staying quiet about a lot of things, it did help, but it also harmed me in a lot of ways because it delayed a lot of my healing. And it caused for me to, kind of put things on the back burner that should not have been put on the back burner, right? But let me finish this thought real quick and then I'll come back to that, right? All right, so listen, so all the four mothers, all my four mothers on my father's side, I think were military women. I'm not sure. According to Ancestry.com, I'm gonna go back over there and see what they're talking about when I get a chance. But I always explore my genealogy when I'm like in between gigs or I'm at the house, my house is in order, everything's good, my kids good, everything's good, everything cool, and I can afford to reach in my back pocket and just kind of like pull out a little project, like let me see what else is going on, right? So I have been doing that off and on. I haven't done it as of late. I think that the last time I even was able to log into Ancestry was goodness, I think it's been about 4 years. It's been about 4 years, because people got a hold of my ID, copies of my ID, social security cards, debit cards, business cards, all kinds of stuff. They got a hold of it because I had to take pictures of things in order to verify who I was during COVID. I don't know if anybody else had to do that, but that's what people were requiring for me. And I was really reluctant in the beginning, but eventually I realized, like, you know what, stop being so, paranoid about stuff and this and that or whatever the case. And, lighten up when it comes to that and get your business taken care of. You know what I'm saying? So that was my attitude. So once I did that and I stopped being so paranoid about everything and stopped overthinking everything, that's when motherfuckers was able to take my identity and, go to town with the shit, right? So that is what has been going on with that situation. And in addition to that, going through my phones and shit like that and, regular schmegular type stuff, right? So once I realized that somebody had been in my phones and devices and all that kind of stuff, I realized that it was like, okay, you need to back off from a lot of shit. Okay? You need to back off from a lot of shit. Meaning, in that particular case and at that particular time, meaning anything that requires you to identify yourself electronically or digitally, you don't want to be involved in. Anything that requires for you to give your information over the phone, sensitive information and stuff like that, you can't do it. Anything that has anything to do with you, It's there. It's right there, y'all. It's right there. Anything that had anything to do with your credit, freeze your shit. Do not use your credit. I haven't used my credit in 5 years. Now, I have not used my credit in 5 years. So there should be nothing on my credit report except for this one hater ass company that always has like this, they have this existing balance or whatever, and they always add $1 or whatever. They always add $1. I don't know why they do that. They're called 2Jinn. Jinn. Ironic, huh? They've been following me for a while. I can't remember exactly when I got the debt. I know it's from a bail bondsman though. It was one of those situations where I think I was supposed to like go to court or something and I didn't go. And then they put a warrant out for my arrest because I wasn't able to make it. You know, when you got court in San Francisco, but you're living all the way in, you know, in Vallejo at the time, American Canyon. I stayed out there for almost 11 years for those who do not know and haven't done their research yet. That's I stayed out there for about 11 years, from 2008 until 2007 until October of 2018. So yeah, I stayed out there for a very long time. I was definitely a Solano County resident for a long time. I didn't date much while I was out there. Didn't really take any type of partners or anything like that, but I did hear that there were some people who did have some things to say about me or contribute to whatever those rumors were or whatever the information was that was circulating. And I was just kind of like, why would you do that? That's crazy to me. Like, why would you do that? I'm not necessarily a person who talks about people that I've dated. I don't really, maybe it's because I've never really dated anybody that I cared to talk about afterwards, because it was like, well, that didn't work out, so let's move on, you know? That kind of thing, right? So with all of that being said, like even with me being out toward Napa, all the stuff, everything, I still didn't use my fucking credit, because once I realized there was some funny movement going on, especially with my old mailbox, 334, when I realized, I was like, something ain't right. I immediately cut off all motherfucking everything. I was like, debits, everything, bank accounts. I think I kept one bank account open. That was my Fidelity account, if I'm not mistaken. I think I kept my Fidelity account open. That was for money management and investing and things like that. I wasn't even able to do that. If I was able to do it, I could only buy like two or three or 4 or 5 shares at a time, because I was literally struggling that fucking hard. I was going through hella shit, you guys. It was not fucking funny. I ain't never been one to front, honey. That's why when people was like, oh, she's lying about who she was, I was like, where? I've never been ashamed of anything that I'm going through, and I've never been ashamed of who I am. And I've definitely never been ashamed of my life either, because I know that a lot of what's been happening and what's transpired in my life or throughout my journey, it's been done with a lot of help from outside sources. I've done everything I was supposed to do. I got my ass in school. I took my classes. Next thing you know, oh, something happened with the student loan. We can't give you a student loan. Oh, we're sorry that your financial aid is delayed. Oh, we'll see what we can do. I know now what was going on. I didn't know then, and it was very frustrating for me. Somebody who really, really wanted to get into school and get my degree and finish up and do my whole thing. And they were fucking it up the entire time. Every school I went to, is so funny because I tried to get into school where I am, right? And everything's all staged and shit or whatever, you know. And I looked into it and I was just like, okay, why is it difficult for me to enroll in school? What is the issue? Why have I been over here for like 5 hours trying to enroll in like 3 classes? What the fuck is this, right? You know, if it wasn't one thing, it was another. Then it was, oh, well, your FAFSA is not coming up. Oh, well, we need you to have your old phone number so that you could get the retrievable text message on the number that's in the file. And then you could do, and I was like, I don't feel like doing all of that. We should be able to update the phone number. We should be able to do this and this and this and this. No, you guys are playing with me. You're playing with me, and that's okay. It's okay, because when it come back, it's going to be something else. But for me, I'm going to chill, and I'm going to just stay where I need to stay and do what I need to do. And continue on my copacetic journey. But I will tell you this, like I said earlier today, back them folks up off of me. And I'm not talking to any group specifically, but if your job is to assign people to come out and do this type of shit, to me, I wouldn't recommend it right now, especially. And I'm going to tell you why, because there's a lot going on, and I know that you guys are trying to push me into, I have a lot to say this evening. I think it's because I'm about to wind down and, and turn it on in, but I know that you guys are trying to bait me into a conflict so that something in particular happens. You may even be trying to set me up to be like really, really, you know what I'm talking about, like they say unalived, but I say murdered, honey, okay? So you might be trying to set me up for some type of murder or something like that. And, people will try to do shit to you, like try to walk up on you or try to do all that. And it's like, listen, we don't need all of that. I am all about peace. I am all about peace. Not just my personal peace, not just my mental health, but more so about the kind of peace, like peace and love, peace on earth. Okay, whatever it is, we'll figure it out. Maybe we both just having a bad day right now. Let's revisit it tomorrow. I'm that type of person. But when you keep on and you keep doing it for several years and you didn't even know that I was already a targeted individual, I've been going through this my entire life. All right. So the issue with that is that I have been targeted. I have been thrown into shit my entire life. And I've been fighting the same battle my entire life. And then you get mad and you decide you want to throw some shit on it, and you thinking you doing something new because you looking for revenge for God knows what reason. And baby, you didn't do nothing but just call them. They already, they know us. Okay? So when you get to doing all of that, it's like, it's like you get in trouble at school and somebody, set you up and then call the principal and make it seem like you did something, but they don't know that the principal is your grandmama. You just ain't said nothing and you live with your granny. Principal know you ain't did that shit because you was at home having oatmeal with her that morning. So what the hell is really going on? It's that type of situation. But the principal just looking like, oh, okay, well, please tell me more. Finish telling me what's going on. That type of shit. It's not cool. I'm gonna do a part 2 real quick, okay?